If you've been on the internet for a while, you may be familiar with the term creepypastas, which refers to short horror stories that rose to fame in the early 2010s. You've most likely come across the more popular ones like Jeff the Killer, Smile Dog, or the Slender Man, but there are many stories that went under the radar of the general public, lurking in the shadows only to be remembered by few. In 2011, a story was posted to the creepypasta wiki titled "The Face in the Middle of the Dark," about a house inside a small village in Russia during the 80s, where a mysterious creaking can be heard from inside the house. The woman living there at the time decides to investigate and eventually finds herself in between the walls. Turning her head, she notices the face of a woman staring directly at her. Attached to the story is a photo supposedly taken by one of the victims of the woman. At first glance, it looks like nothing, but in order to see what's going on, you have to brighten the image. As described in the story, it's a woman with unnaturally big psychotic eyes and a creepy smile. You may have even come across this image before, as many people refer to it as the female Jeff the Killer, which is kind of confusing because the Jeff the Killer image is of a woman, but you get the point. Like many other creepypastas, unfortunately, the Face in the Middle of the Dark met its demise on December 13th, 2015, after it was moved for its lack of quality despite going through multiple different rewrites from different authors, which I can't entirely disagree with. Reading the original story, there are so many different details that don't make any sense whatsoever, and even if you try to fix the horrible grammatical errors in the original, you can't really salvage the logic in the story, like how in the end they claim that the woman drowned in tears.
But you may wonder what I am talking about. After all, this was about a murder, but that's what it was. A murder on the woman with the face in the middle of dark. She drowned in tears.
But come on, there's an expected corniness to come with just about every creepypasta. The internet was just a different place in 2011. The real mystery and unsettling part of the story is the image accompanied to it, with the file name creepygirl1.png. This photo is quite the anomaly with no clear origins, and that's exactly what I like to look for. Some people think that it might just be an edit of the old school meme overly attached girlfriend, and although it's almost just as creepy, and admittedly it does feature some similarities like the head tilted or the blue shirt, but there are more details that don't line up than do. But I'm not going to say this 100% isn't the case because it could just be heavily edited. Originally, this image was submitted to me on my Discord server, but this is far from the first person to attempt to find the origins of this image. 4 years ago, a post was made to the subreddit r/creepypasta asking where the photo came from, but it's what lies in the comments that's most interesting. First, a comment that states, "This is the hardest obscure rabbit hole that I searched this on Google Images, right in the darkest rabbit holes on the internet." But then it's the comment underneath this that raises so many new questions. It says, "Welp, I solved it for you today. This is a photoshopped image of my mom. She made it years ago, I believe, to submit to a horror forum, and YouTubers picked it up for different videos. I think Mr. Creepypasta even offered to pay her money for it." Strangely, the user who wrote this comment with the username nocup1578 only made this one comment and never logged into their account again. If you ask me though, this claim is pretty far-fetched. There's literally no proof of this, and I know better by now than to trust the word of some random Redditor. Here's the thing. What if I told you that this isn't the only person to claim that they're the source of creepygirl1.png? On the creepypasta wiki, there are discussion forums for each respective account and creepypasta. For the Face in the Dark, most of the comments here are pretty generic, like Jeff the Killer's wife. It's after you scroll down further that one comment specifically stands out. On October 30th, 2012 at 6 a.m. weirdly enough, the user Wicked Tribe posted, "This is too funny. The picture is actually a picture of my wife that her and I photoshopped for a contest back in 2007. We posted it on Something Awful a while ago, and that is probably where it came from. I'm gonna ask her to take more and Photoshop more so that there can be more pictures." Strangely enough, visiting Wicked Tribe's profile, once again, this is the only time this account ever posted and has been completely dormant ever since. So now we sit here with two very conflicting and different stories. If I am to choose one, I am more inclined to believe the second story, as it was made all the way back in 2012. This also is the perfect kind of edit to go on something like Something Awful, which is an old forum that people would use for various different Photoshop contests, and I could see how it would fit into several different boards on there. So as an attempt to verify this claim, I searched several different boards I could find on Something Awful awful, specifically their Photoshop Friday contest from 2007, but I didn't find any themes that would make sense.
2007 doesn't even have any creepy or horror themes to begin with, although of course there are a lot of different weird and interesting edits, but I really doubt that we're going to be able to find what we're looking for here. I can't even find an image that looks close enough to it.
I also tried looking at the surrounding years as maybe they made a mistake, but that also came up fruitless. Assuming that this user isn't lying, the only way you would be able to verify is by creating an account on Something Awful, and with that account using it to access their archives, which is something I'm not willing to do at the moment as it costs $10 to register an account, and they didn't even have any proof, so I'm not just going to take it at face value. It's by this point that I started to run dry on ideas. I had attempted a few image search engines, but this is completely impossible with an image that's so dark.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I want to go through all of these.
No image search is advanced enough to separate it from other all-black images. Another shot in the dark was to go through the different comment sections on videos related to the creepypasta, because just like the cursed Barney image, you never know when the creator might just feel inclined to leave a comment. And so, with nothing but dead ends, I started to look into the creator of the story, who goes by the name of Creepy Storyteller. I'm not even joking with you. That's literally his name. On his creepypasta wiki account page, it says his name is Howard and he's from Norway. Of course, it's Norway. I wouldn't expect any difference. This is what his profile currently looks like, but I decided out of curiosity to just run it through the Wayback Machine and started going through the different archives. Eventually, I landed on a snapshot from October 28th, 2012, and it features something that's groundbreaking. He's a One Piece fan. All right, guys, let's pack it up. It's time to go home. In all seriousness, what's really groundbreaking is in his About section. There's a link to a DeviantArt page called Creepy Howard. Now, looking through the archives of his DeviantArt, I found his associated YouTube channel, but then even more mind-blowing, an email. So I drafted up a quick message and I hit send. It has now been a few days since I sent that email, as well as a few messages to other social media accounts I found, and I am yet to receive a reply. Likely none of these accounts are active, but I wanted to put out a quick disclaimer saying whatever you do, don't contact somebody if you think they're related to this. But if you happen to know something or you want to help us look, you can join my Discord in the description. This is a really unique search because it seems like for the first time ever, you can't use any reverse image searches. We have to solely rely off of whatever connections we can use to find it. But I do believe that some remnant of the origins exists somewhere on the internet. If we find any new information, I'm definitely going to do an update video, so be sure to subscribe. And that's everything for now. Peace out.
Yeah, there's something different out there that I've been breathing. It's when you're up that you can learn to love the season. And